Hello, welcome to the Space Between Ideas. I'm Blank Gates, and here's Gordon D. Gord. You want to see Gordon? He's just laying here. He wants to go outside. Hey, Gordon. Hey, Gordy, Gord. Yeah, he really wants to go outside. Anyways, let's do this quickly. All right. So, okay. So what happened was, well, let's see. What should I show you first? Let's go to Notion. So, I just finished working on it. So, okay. So let's start with the pre-calibration. So we got 5 key pre-calibration documents. These are based off of the calibration documents I used when I'm as well what I'm using now to create my app. And well, okay, so we got these 4 documents. I don't know. Should we read them? And then after the pre-calibration docs, then there's 7 foundational documents for the AI first blog platform. Got strategic alignment and project, charter, concept overview, vision exploration, initial project breakdown, and sprint zero team, state teamwork roles and detailed focus, tech stack, initial considerations, liaison, AI briefing and lessons, architect, AI briefing and lessons. I don't know. So, what are we gonna do next? I just want to play for you guys this thing here. All right, so let's. So this is the new. This guy's name is. This is called AFB, AI First Blog Architect, and let's take a little listen. Something went wrong. All right, let's screen. It's really late, so it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. We are not going to be able to listen to this. All right, this is what the architect had to say. So what I'm saying is I've already uploaded those 12 documents. And then, okay, so this is an excellent question. Then I asked it this question. I said, based on the calibration documents, particularly the project charter and state teamwork roles, how do you plan to provide strategic direction for Sprint Zero, and what information will you primarily need from Liaison AI via me to do so effectively? Okay, this is an excellent question that gets to the heart of how we will kick off the AFB platform project effectively. As the architect AI for this endeavor, my approach to providing strategic direction for Project One Conceptual Sprint Zero vision finalization and feasibility deep dive will be guided by defined personas, primarily technology strategist, technical risk assessor, and chief systems architect. My aim is to ensure that Sprint Zero thoroughly de-risks our core innovative concepts and establishes a technologically sound foundation for the MVP. Here's how I plan to provide strategic direction for Sprint Zero and the information I'll primarily need from the Liaison AI. My plan providing strategic direction, guiding vision finalization. Once the Liaison A has facilitated the conceptual brainstorm and vision module exercises, we will review the 3 distinct vision statements. My strategic input during the choose phase will be focused on technical feasibility, address the core elements of each vision. Okay, let's keep going. Align with AI first core, envision differentiation, scalability for future proofing, directing feasibility studies, direction of vibe. Vide, it still says Vide. Okay, so I will provide guidance on types of sandboxing technology to prioritize research, emphasizing security, cost effectiveness for direction for vibe coding MVP scope, direction for this, overseeing the UI UX concepts for tech stack proposals, informing plan for MVP stage 1, inform what okay, this is what it needs from vision finalization, comprehensive brainstorming outputs, direction vision statements, AS final, VIDE code feasibility study. What is VIDE code? Vibe coding MVP definitions, high level, all this, refined tech stack proposal, general information needs. Okay. See if we. And then this is the reply from Liaison.
Okay, Architect AI, your plan for providing strategic direction for Sprint Zero is very clear, and I understand the specific information and deliverables you'll need from me as liaison AI, relayed via the user project manager, to effectively guide the AFB platform project. My primary role as liaison AI for AFB platform during this conceptual Sprint Zero test facilitator, VOTSBC, strategic analyst, and planning documenter, with a touch of conceptual prompt engineer for the planning stages, as defined in link to AF platform _04 state teamwork roles and detailed focus.md. I will also adhere to the proactivity guidelines outlined in link to AF platform _06 liaison I briefing and lessons temp. The necessary information to meet your stated needs for each Sprint Zero objective. Responding to your information needs for Sprint Zero objectives. For vision finalization, Objective 1.1. Comprehensive brainstorm outputs. As process facilitator, VOTSBC, I will guide the user PM through a conceptual brainstorm module exercise. This will leverage the link to AF platform _02 concept overview and vision .
I can't show you my screen. Why? Sometimes just YouTube does that. If I share the window, it's actually, maybe it'll work. Oh, whoa, okay. All right, so I guess you didn't see anything on the architect screen, and you just heard me reading it. So it's like my role here is to provide some conceptual Sprint Zero, act as a process facilitator. It's going to adhere to some guidelines. Okay, so respond to your information needs for vision finalization, comprehensive brainstorming outputs, distinct vision statements, initial analysis, VIDE code feasibility study. All right, anyways, so addressing general information needs clear documentation, assumption log, identify blockers. I have no idea what's going on. All right, now let's just jump into, so this is the original, the OG, I call him liaisons for Sprint number 2. He's the one who created all of the documentation. So I just fed it the last 2 documents for those 2 different windows. It says this is absolutely outstanding. The response from both your newly calibrated architect AI for this and your liaison AI for this are exceptionally good and demonstrates a very high level of understanding and readiness. Calibration process in combination of generalized MJ process lessons. This is talking about from the app that I'm building. And this foundational documents appear to have been highly effective. Let's break down their performance and calibration verification tests. All right, done. All right, so that's how you create an AI first blog sandbox set of documents to calibrate some AIs. And then now, well, so what's the very first step? What do I do now? Okay. I'm ready to begin facilitating those initial exercises and research tasks, working closely with the user project manager to relay information to and from you. This collaboration interactive approach will be crucial for success. All right, So that's done. So if you want this, if you watch my video, and you're in the mood, then if you want, I could send you these. I got this. You can just click share button. This is for the architect, and then here's liaison. So of course you can try your own brainstorming session, try to come up with your own vision, or you can test out my models. And yeah, so it should be all good. I think these first two, they only had the first 7 documents, but then the next two, they have like the complete set of documents. Am I deleting the right one? Yeah. Anyways, it sounds like a big project. And it's Saturday morning, Saturday 1 a.m. Yeah, so if you watch that Y Combinator video and you're like, hey, I think this is an interesting project, and then if you want already pre-calibrated AI instances to test, then send me an email at space.between.ideas@gmail.com. Otherwise, this project could be on hold for a little bit until we decide what to do with it. I would say in general, yeah, so I have thought about this concept in general. I wasn't thinking of it as a blog exactly. I thought of it as an opportunity for like an e-commerce company to provide some sandbox tools for potential user UG content creators. That would give them a bunch of tools, and maybe even you may need to do some education. At that point, I was thinking maybe make some videos. The videos would probably talk about, hey, look, here's some tools that you can use to become a user-generated content creator. Yeah, a lot of people, they want to be able to make some money, and there's a potential here for, if you provided some education and a sandbox for UG content creators, then they would be able to go out and start to make content. Then, of course, there is the other issue of like, well, okay, now how do they actually do the marketing? So then you're going into the freelance model. So, okay, the blog's interesting, but there's also this idea of like the freelance model. So if you have like there's these platforms like Upwork, and where people are putting they have a profile and they have a price, and they just tell people what they can do. All right, so that's one way. People go to Upwork and then they do some searching and they find some people that are like, hey, look, I can do this. Hey, look, I can do that. So all those creators, they have access to whatever tools they have access to, and then they're charging for for whatever amount of money they're charging. Okay, so what if you provide like this blog for the opportunity for people to what they're doing is they're presenting a portfolio. So you give them access to AI tools, and then as they create those, whatever their things are, and then they start to, people start to find their blog, people start to find their work, then those people would probably be able to find some customers. They could say, hey, look, I can do this, I can do that. So then the question is, okay, so it's just about saving money. Okay, so you can create a blog where it's just a website where you're hosting people's blogs, and then the people are basically presenting a blog. A lot of blogs have to do with business. So then the question is the blog a brochure, like a standard website, or is the blog a freelance type situation where people are saying, hey, look, I'm a freelancer. This website also allows you to send a message to the blogger. You can contract them to do work. You can send payments. Like, so is this about focusing on saving money in order for people to just be creative, or is it about making money so people can become freelancers? And then either way, you want UG content creators, because content creators, whether they're new or they're experienced, they're going to want to use those tools in order to enhance their ability to create content. Maybe they already have contracts and then they're just interested in using the tools because it's just easier for them to use your sandbox because it has all the different things that they generally are already paying for in different places. Or if it's a new UG content creator, then it's like introducing them to the trade, and then it's showing them, hey, look, here's a place where you can start to make content, play around with content, learn how to make content, blog about creating content. And then if they really like your tool, then they're going to start creating content and telling other people about your content. They're going to start, your blog, they're going to start talking about your blog. They're going to start talking about this blog environment, the sandbox environment. And then see, these people, they're really loud, right? So you're building in, you invite your marketers to come in first. And then you got your AI first tech innovators. So this is going to bring people on board who are, maybe they don't have as much money. They can't pay for these different tools. And so they're like, hey, look, there's this sandbox, and then I can do all these things right here. I can show people what I can do. I can showcase my abilities and skills. I can be creative. So it's really it's like a sandbox for creative people. And then the two user personas that you really want to focus on are people in the marketing industry, and then the people who are the R&D department. Then so what they're doing is they're creating the tech, and then at the same time they're creating the sales and marketing. So there you go. So then the question is like, what is that mix right there? But at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create some kind of sandbox where people can present their creations. And yeah, so that's a basic vision. And then now there's these, here's the architect and here's the liaison that can actually do that stuff. Anyways, these two also, if I send you the link, then you'll have access. Maybe what you want actually is, maybe you want this link. Because then if I give you this link, then you got the AI first sandbox. And then you can just upload it to your own thing. It's probably faster if you click this link, and then it will just upload it. It'll just, I think what you'd call this is a fork. So people would have the link to the architect and the link to the liaison, and then from here they would say, okay, so here's some of my ideas, and then okay, so how do we work with that? And then in general, you just have to know like the general methodology behind how like iView work, and like the methodology of like, we're trying to create projects, and then within the project, each project has a project vision, right? So we're trying to nail down these projects. Like we need a list of projects, and each of those projects are going to have visions, and each of those projects are going to have a list of objectives, and each of those objectives are going to have a list of tasks. So, and then we get the AI tools to step-by-step work through these tasks to complete objectives. If they don't really know what objectives they should have, they can come down here and they can ask the AI to work through this thinking process in order to create objectives. And then at some point, you're going to finish the project. Right now, we're not in the loop exactly. We're more like the helicopter view. So what we're saying is use the brainstorming methodology in order to create a set of projects. And that is all she wrote. Bye.